Okay, we're live. Okay, I'm doing a direct live on YouTube. It's getting better and more easy to access it, so I kind of like it. Um, I usually been posting on Facebook first, then I would download the video and then upload it here to YouTube. So I'm here live, you guys, and hope you guys can hear me. Yes, you guys can hear me. Okay, great. I'm Donovan Saadiq. I'm the Inland Empire informer, nationally known as the Recovering Democrat. Um, been getting a lot of messages. Yes, I'm back from vacation. My hoeing phase is done. You know, I have to do this every time I leave the country. I have to ask if any of you ladies have a crush before I go, because I don't want to break any hearts and stuff, because I go into full hoe mode when I go overseas, okay? Just it's done. You guys saw the speedos. Ladies were, contacting me about a picture, of my destination. And so if you guys saw the picture, I put the picture up, and it's me in my speedos, and I'm posing on the beach. So I hope you guys really, really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed my time away. You got to get away from here sometimes. It is cooler here in the Inland Empire, and which is basically the start of the Mojave Desert. I live out in the desert where a lot of the Air Force bases were stationed. And literally March Air Reserve Base is literally in front of my house, okay? So, the plan was you have a base there. LA is 60 miles away. Vegas is 3 hours away. Mountains, stream, and snow is 30 minutes away. San Diego in Mexico is 90 miles away. So, this is a perfect area for a person to retire to. It had everything I needed, so it still does, except the base closed. And so now I'm like, damn, so it's very limited. But happy Friday to everybody. It is September 26, 2025. It is now 16:26 hours for you civilians. That is 4:27 now. So what do you guys want to talk about? There is a lot of people out there that are panicking because of, once again, you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. We will not research anything to save our lives. We just won't do it. We just want somebody else to give us the information, and then we just go with that. No research, no pushback, no nothing. Now, on the Demetra K Show, by the way, don't forget to tune in Sundays, 3 p.m. Demetra K Show. I will be there. Usually when I go away, I'm supposed to be on the show, but the Wi-Fi in the Dominican Republic is so bad that you really can't do it. It's that bad. Matter of fact, there was a national emergency declared by the president of the Dominican Republic in order to get the power grid fixed, because you'll go hours without power there. If they're going to attract a lot of the big businesses that they want to attract, if you guys saw on my Facebook page, if you remember my Facebook page, they just opened a Hard Rock Cafe in the northern coast. I usually stay in the northern coast. I don't go to Punta Cana. I've been there, but I don't really go over there. I kind of go to the northern coast because Puerto Plata, Sosua, Cabarete, it reminds me of Santa Barbara here in California, just not as expensive. But a lot of stuff going on over there. So, for them to attract these big businesses, Amazon just landed there. They're starting their businesses there in Amazon. So, of course, they're going where the cheap labor is. Isn't that a theme in business now? Cheap labor. They're going to go where the cheap labor is. They can't come to America. They don't want to come to America because Americans demand too much money plus benefits. So they rather go ahead and exploit other countries. So Amazon can't operate in a country that doesn't have an infrastructure that they can rely on. So, they can't go hours on end unpredicted of when the power is going to go out. So the president there declared a national emergency to get the power grid fixed at whatever costs. And so that means they were very serious about these resorts and these hotels that are going to be coming there. One of the biggest assets the Dominican Republic has is its beaches. Right? Now think about Jamaica. Its biggest thing is its beaches, but guess who owns most of the beaches in Jamaica? It ain't the Jamaicans. it's these hotel corporations that make them private beaches, and they're just building hotel after hotel, so the people can't even enjoy their natural born, entitled beaches, native beaches of their own country. This is how crazy things are getting. But see, nobody does the research on this. They just go, because I have a few dollars, oh, we're going to go down to Jamaica and have a good time. But at the same time, you're having a good time at the natives people's expense. You're enjoying the beach, but they live there and they can't enjoy the beach. Make it make sense. Narmer X News Show, welcome. Yeah. Oh, hell no. Amazon in the Dominican Republic just sounds like colonialism. And that's what it is. It's economic colonialism. But see, again, a lot of people, they are so fixed on Operation Mockingbird news here in the United States that they just get fed what the government here wants them to listen to, and they don't listen to the diaspora. I watch the diaspora. I know what's going on in South Africa. I get some news, and how do you do that? BBC, Al Jazeera, outside African Diaspora News Network. You could download the app, Google Play, Apple Store. And this is how you know what's going on, and you can see what these corporations are doing. It's fascinating. But Amazon in the Dominican Republic, they're getting tired of paying money, Jeff Bezos, $20 an hour and this, that, when they can go to the DR and pay those people $7 an hour. It's just what we're doing. And then when they go there, the AI, oh, you put that in there, you don't have to worry about those people. It's just crazy. So again, welcome you guys. I want to talk about the looming government shutdown. Once again, both of these parties are using the government shutdown and the funding of the government as leverage to get concessions from the other side in Congress. Now, let me ask you guys this. When has the continuing funding of the government have to do with legislation in regards to laws? Congress is there to make the laws, right? And to do the money thing, right? And now they are holding these things hostage, holding the government and us citizens hostages, using the continuing resolution aspect to make the other side give them things that they couldn't get in the regular Congress. So here's my thing. My man Arson up in Canada, it's the same thing in Haiti. There's a beach named Labadee, and it's so popular that cruises go there, but it's not marketed as Haiti, and the average Haitian can't access it. Yeah. It's kind of funny you bring that up, Arson, because they keep telling you Port-au-Prince and it's what's going on in Haiti is very dangerous. Don't go there, don't travel there. But when I flew over and you look down there and you see nothing but cruise ships in the port of Haiti, in the Port-au-Prince area, there's cruise ships all over there. And I'm thinking, well, if it's so bad in Port-au-Prince, what are the cruise ships doing? I mean, they're not like in Haiti itself, but the off side, you still see the cruise ships coming in there. You still got airlines flying into Port-au-Prince Airport. But 80% of the city is controlled by barbecue and the gangs. I mean, it's wild out there. It is wild. So we have this looming government shutdown. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand what is going to happen. Oh my gosh, the Democrats are going to go and fight, and they're going to make a stand, and they're going to do all this stuff and whatever. Okay, let me tell you guys what's really going on here. The Democrats are threatening to shut the government down. They're putting everything on the Republicans, and that's fine. The Republicans control Congress, they control the presidency, and they control technically the Senate. So they control everything. So it is September. So Donald Trump has been in office for about 8 months, right? So they put all the problems of the financing of this continuing resolution on Donald Trump and the Republicans. Rightly so, right? Rightly so. They're the people that got in office to solve these problems. How do we have these problems? Now, what is the issue that has brought us to the problems that we have here right now? The federal funding. Now, as a veteran, I'm going to get my money. Social Security people are going to get their money. So what you're going to see is, once again, performative politics, political theater. The bad guy is the Republicans and Donald Trump. The good guys are they're going to smite for the people and they're going to stand up for the people, even though you haven't heard anything from them in the last, since Donald Trump took office. They've just been rolled over, right? Excuse me, guys. Let me get rid of that. It's not very professional. So what's happening here? Political. I want you guys to see the political theater that's going on. Ever since Donald Trump came into office, the Democrats have told us before Donald Trump came back into office, he's a fascist. He's a dictator. He's a substantial threat to the United States. But yet he comes into office, does what he's doing, and the Democrats have done nothing but sit on their hands. If this man is what they say he is, shouldn't they be in the streets every day leading? Dear self, thank you. Yes, I am back. Yes. The whole phase is over for now until next time. So anyway, but shouldn't these Democrat representatives, and we've got to change our way of thinking about these people. They are not leaders. We're the leaders. They are representatives. They are our representatives. It's like having a lawyer. A lawyer is going to do everything they can to defend you or, sue somebody and get it right. But at the end of the day, you tell him the outcome you want, and he's supposed to go make it happen. So we have to change our mindset. These people are not leaders. So please stop saying that. They are representatives. They are our representatives. If we voted for them or not, they're our representatives. Okay. So now the Democrats are going to get in there and they're like, yes, we're going to, all of a sudden, 7 months later, they show up and we're going to make a stand. Now, remember, we went through this in April or March to confund the government. And the Democrats rolled over. They folded, like I told my friend Tim, they folded like a Philly cheese sandwich. All that rhetoric and talk. And the reason they do this, you guys, they're the same people. If you watch a movie and there's actors in the movie, you have good actors, right, that are on the good side. You have the bad actors that are on the bad side. But they're telling a story. It's like wrestling. You have the heel, the bad guy, and you got the face, the good guy. And when they're wrestling, they're telling a story. Okay? So I'm just trying to break this down as much as I can where people can understand what is going on here. They do this story to entertain you, to distract you. That's how they do it. That's why the Democrats fold. They're the same people. Remember, we've said this all the time on the show. If you control both sides of an argument, there's no argument. Donald Trump, a lifelong Democrat who was posing as a Republican, right? He donated to both sides. He didn't care. He wanted what he wanted to get what he wanted to get, right? Because that's the game. So now the Democrats, we're going to make a stand and we're going to do this, right? So what are the Democrats demanding? They are demanding $1.2 trillion in healthcare spending be restored. Now, out of that $1.2 trillion, where do you think most of that money is coming from? Or where did the deficit come from? Because remember, states get federal funding to help fund their state Medicaid or Medicare, however you guys want to call it. They get federal dollars that shrink down, right? Ask yourself this. During the Biden administration, 22 million people were let into the United States that had no health care, had no housing, had nothing. Not including the Americans that already need, the subsidies for Obamacare, the ACA, and all that other stuff, right? This is what Trump wants to cut, right? The Democrats are demanding that he restore $1.2 trillion in healthcare subsidies. Because in Democratic states and cities, they busted their own budget. Busted their own budget. Do me a favor, you guys. Hold on for 1 second. My apologies. We have these solar guys that keep running around. I live in an older neighborhood, and I do my own solar. You can do your own solar, by the way, you guys. You don't need to put stuff on your roof and all this craziness that they want. It's not that hard, right? But anyway, so they keep coming around and bothering you and stuff like that. My apologies to that. So Shirley Lyra says, "Hey, Donovan, I missed you over at Demetra K's podcast." Yeah, I try not to make it a job. I don't want to work. So Demetra, she likes to do all that great stuff, which is great. But I just want to cut down my participation, because when you got to do a podcast, you got to have certain times to be there and do it. And then, I want to be free to flow and do what I want to do. Not that, it's a bad thing, but my commitment is 2 days. That's all I want to do. I discovered her. I got the rights to her. So it's kind of like being a producer, and, you wrote the song and everything, but who gets the fame? So a good example would be Prince, all the people he produced, but all the money comes to Prince. Babyface and all those guys, all the money comes to them. Toni Braxton is very famous, but of course she keeps becoming broke. But Babyface never went broke. LA and Babyface never went broke. So that's kind of how I am with Demetra. It's I don't need to go out here and do all this stuff. Let her go out there and do it. So instead of demanding that laws are passed to put caps on healthcare products, right? But think about this. So what I was saying is the Democrats are demanding $1.2 trillion because they busted their budgets in all of these states supporting illegal migrants. If you look at the list of what the Democrats are demanding from the Republicans, and it's this. They basically want Trump to basically reverse everything he did in regards to immigration. They want the border open again, where it's not busted wide open, but they want more flow of, people because of their human rights and all this other stuff. Now, me telling you guys this, just that basic part right there, they want immigration to flow again within the United States. They want the ICE enforcement to be rolled back a little bit. But that isn't what Donald Trump came in to do. That was not his mandate. 75%, if not more, of the American people wanted the immigration to be taken care of. Benny! This dog, I swear. He wanted the immigration to do that. Why would he turn around? Sit down. No. Why would Donald Trump turn around and undo everything that he just did? Get over here. Sit down. One thing about this dog, he's a pit bull and he's young. He's only a year old. This guy wants to do what he wants to do. And he doesn't seem to get it. I'm the alpha dog in here. And he just pushes those boundaries. He pushes, like when I'm wrestling with him, he tries to like really like overpower me. And I kind of got to, let him know what's happening. But he wants to do what he wants to do. But you got to remember, he lives with cats. And so, he sees the cats doing what they want to do. And, it's a different scenario. So I don't know if he thinks he's a cat. I don't know what it is. But this dude pushes the boundaries. Namer X says, and demanding that laws are passed to put caps on healthcare products, right? Shirley Lara, no, don't cut down. It is more interesting when you are over there. Yeah, well, I'm the more, Miss Shirley, I'm the more technical person because, I'm really good at remembering. I don't have a photogenic memory, but I'm very good at remembering historical aspects because that's my passion. I love, like I said, politics. I can remember dates. I can remember events. So I'm not, but like I'm more technical. I could give you the technical answer like I'm going to give you guys right now. So let me read this for you guys real quick. It says it says what's happening is the Trump administration has already reduced the workforce by about 200,000 people, and they want to grow that to 300,000 by the end of the year. Because remember, the government expands to a point to where it gets too big and you got to shrink it. And Donald Trump, sit down, being the corrupt businessman he has always been, he's running the country like a CEO would run a business. Now, I think that's kind of stupid because you can't run a country like a business because a business can't print money, unlimited money. Only a government could do that. But that's what he's trying to do. That's why all the firings and stuff, he's not concerned about that. It's like he wants action done as he says it to be done. Now, the one good thing that we can all agree on about Donald Trump is he has shown and exposed that a president, if they want to, could do whatever they want to do by executive order. Obama did that as well. That's why he did the Dreamer thing. That's still not law. It still has not been codified in law. These people are in a limbo. Everybody forgets this stuff. The Dreamers that Obama put in there by executive order are in limbo. They're not citizens, but yet you can't get rid of them. And Donald Trump hasn't overrode that executive order yet. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? But Obama, when he was asked, I don't know if you guys saw my Facebook video, I put a video up, my friend Tim saw it, where Obama was asked by a reporter, why can't you do something specifically for Black people? If there's a bank crisis, you do something specifically for that bank crisis, which is what Obama did. He bailed the banks out, right? By executive order. He said, hey, we're going to, do this for the banks, specifically for the banks. The reporter asked him, well, if you can do that for the banks, why can't you do something specifically for Black people? And Obama said, well, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But yet, if you look at his term in office, he did stuff specifically for Native Americans. He did it for the Dreamers. He did it for the LGBTQ. Nothing for the Blacks. He went exactly against what he told that reporter that could not be done. But now we know the next president that gets in there, we know what you can do. We've seen it in real time. Now, if you're a government person like me, a history person like me, you always knew what they can do. This is why you guys see me. I'm so passionate about what I know. And I'm not an expert. I'm just very well read on it. And a lot of people aren't. See, a lot of people, they watch movies or they watch whatever news network that they're watching, which they shouldn't watch because it's controlled by the CIA. And they go with that. They think, oh, this is the way government works. No, the executive order was put there so that, and again, it might only work for 4 years. And then the next president comes in and they overturn it. But if that president gets reelected, That's 8 years of this executive order existing. Now, if you look at Obama and that executive order he did for the Dreamers, that's almost 20 years now. These people have been sitting in limbo for 20 years. Now ask yourself, if these Dreamers are sitting there with no status for 20 years, most of those Dreamers are grown adults now that have children that are now American citizens. This is why Trump wants to stop the anchor baby crisis. And he said specifically, the 15th Amendment, the 14th and 15th Amendment was specific to Black people, not everybody else. Shirley says, come on, Donovan, you know they are not allowed to do anything for FBA, ADOS, and freedom. Exactly. See, those of us that know, we know. I mean, because they're showing it now to us, Miss Shirley, right in our faces. Before, they would hoo and ha, well, we got to play these, they would play these games with us. Going around the circle. Oh, I couldn't do it because of the Republicans. I couldn't do it because of the president. Remember that under Biden, or it was one of those, it was Biden, I think. The parliamentarian. They blame the parliamentarian of what they can't do. A parliamentarian is like an official in the Congress that kind of tells them, well, you could do that by law or you can't do that. And so when it was something specific for the American people, I forgot what it was. Oh, well, the parliamentarian said we couldn't do it. And it's always the Democrats. And another thing we have to look at, you guys, is the fact that as Americans, we're not used to politicians going into office and actually doing what they say they're going to do, even if it's just a little part of what they said they're going to do. Name me a politician in your lifetime that actually kept their promise once they got into office. I haven't seen one. Obama said, and Miss Shirley, you probably remember this, when Obama was asked about Roe versus Wade, he said he was going to codify that in law. That's going to be one of the first things he does if he gets elected into office. The man got elected in the office, and then when they asked him, when are you going to do Roe versus Wade? His response, paraphrasing, I don't have time to do that right now. And thus now Roe versus Wade has been repealed, and women have lost their minds because they can't delete their children. If you're pro-life, whatever you're pro-death, whatever you're going to do, we're not debating that. But my point is the fact that we are so used to disappointment with these politics, the rhetoric. We're so used to rhetoric. Then when we see a guy come in here and actually do what he said he was going to do, it's shock. It's shock. Even if we don't like it, we're still in shock that he's actually doing it. It's one thing to say that on the campaign trail, but to actually do it. So back to the $1 trillion. These Democrats have busted their budgets across the nation, and they need those federal dollars to put back into those communities that still have illegal migrants that need, health care and whatever situation is going on, thus basically, disregarding the American citizen. And Trump is like, no, we're not doing that. You know what I mean? And my point of that, now that's just one of the things they want to do. They want to restore a lot of the immigration stuff. They think they've got leverage now to do that. And if you don't do it, Donald Trump, we're going to shut the government down. Donald Trump is like, hold my beer. Let's see. Now here's the catch. Now, and there's a few other things that they're demanding, whatever. But here's the catch. And a lot of people don't understand this because I'm hearing, ladies. I think it's something in you guys' DNA where you guys are just so damn trusting. And dear self and Miss Shirley, please excuse me. I don't mean to be disrespectful. But as a man, I just want to know, we can lie to you guys. You guys know, you're taught by your mothers and your aunts Men will say anything to get into your pants. Oh, baby, I love you. Oh, baby, no, not me. Oh, baby, I'm going to marry you. We say all these things, and you guys fall for it every time. Every time. And so here we are again, and all of these women are like, yeah, the Democrats are going to, they're going to stand up and whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what a lot of people are not aware of. If the government shuts down, the law is the president then decides what stays open and what stays closed, because there's no government. See, they're not telling you that. This is what I mean about the performance. Oh, yeah, we're going to go and fight. We shut the government down. We showed him. Did you? Now this guy has the power to shut down and open whatever he likes. Because remember, he's the executive. They're just lawmakers. The United States still has to go on. Now, by law, if you're in the military, if you got Social Security coming, by law, that has to go. No matter what happens, they have to pay that out. Because you don't want a bunch of retired military and Social Security pensioners showing up at the White House with pitchforks and ready to do what they need to do because they worked hard for what they've gotten. But do you see the performative aspect of this? Yeah, let him shut down. We're going to show them. We're going to shut the government. He doesn't give in to our demands. We're going to shut the government down. You don't go to a man who is in the middle of deporting millions of people and demand that he give you $1.2 trillion to fund those people. Healthcare initiatives. All of these budgets that the Democrats, to me, it's a no-win. It's a no-win. It's performative. I'm telling you guys, yeah, we're going to shut the government down. Yeah, shut it down. You're going to give this man that's a dictator. He's a fascist. He's this and he's that. You do not think that that Trump is going to win this? You don't think Trump's going to win this? I don't think he's a genius negotiator. I don't think he's even anywhere near close. But those people that don't understand how government works thinks, oh, we're just going to shut it down. You're playing right into his hands. So, what is the solution? You need to come to the table. It's a loss for the Democrats, either way it goes. Now, one thing, if you're asking me, and I know some of you guys think I'm off my rocker, but I'm a fairly educated guy. The one thing I'm not going to give a dictator, fascist, and whatever else you want to call him is unlimited power to decide this and that and this and that. I'm going to go to that table and say, hey, look, what can we do that you want? And make a deal. Because if you give them the unlimited power by shutting the government down, yes, American people are going to suffer. We're going to suffer. You can blame Trump all you want. But the truth is going to come out. The truth is going to come out that they could have made a deal. And they didn't do it, and they rather shut the government down. And that's what it's going to come down to. He knows, yada, yada, foreign government. Yeah. Namer X News Show says, teach, Donovan. Arson says, it's because they want to feel good. It's good intention. It just lacks logic at times. At times, it lacks logic all the time because they get emotional. And I've been putting this up on my Facebook page. In propaganda, when you can get people into their emotions versus using their basic logic, you can get people to vote against what's in their best interests. And that's what propaganda does, especially against Black people, especially against Black women. Oh, I'm going to vote for Kamala. You can vote for whoever you want. Oh, you're against her because she's a woman. This, that, right? How many of you guys saw that post I put up a couple of days ago? That post I put up a couple of days ago, I basically said, feminism is my enemy. Oh my God. A lot of my female friends inboxed me and were cursing me out left and right. What the hell you mean? Your mama Black. Lady, stop using that analogy. That is the stupidest analogy. What does my mom being Black have to do with any of my choices? Right? But so I put that up. Feminism is my enemy. Just that's my statement. Feminism is my enemy. Now, let me codify why I say that. It's based in logic. There is nowhere in the world other than the Black community in the United States where the matriarchy runs government. Right? The patriarchy was set up by God, if you believe that or not. But even if you don't believe it, there's nowhere in the world where the matriarchy is running anything other than the small Black community that we have and all these young men now that are being raised by women turning into simps and all that other stuff. Okay, so you've got feminism. Feminism objective is to destroy the patriarchy. Why would I support a feminist agenda that goes against a system that I benefit from? Why would I do that? Why would I support feminism as a man? Now, I didn't say women don't have the right to fight for whatever it is you guys think you are being oppressed about. I didn't say that. I said I don't have to contribute to the system that I benefit's downfall. I don't have to contribute to that. It's like my gay friends. I get invited all the time to the gay parades. Why would I go to that? Number one, it goes against my religion, and I don't support that. I don't support it. But hey, if you're gay and you want to go, have at it, Haas. Have at it. But do you see the logic of what I just said? It's not logical for me as a man to support feminism. It's just not. The system is benefiting me as a man. Right? Men make more money. Men are the leaders. This was, I believe this was set up by God. Adam, there was an Adam before there was an Eve, right? So obviously there's a patriarchy set up, and it's been like this for thousands of years. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say another 1,000 years there won't be a matriarchy, but guess what? I won't be here. So it ain't going to matter to me. But that's logic. That's the logic of the whole thing. So again, it's kind of scary that, after all of the turmoil the last couple of years in politics here in the United States, people still don't get it. That's the scary part. They still don't understand politics. They refuse to read any articles. They refuse to engage. And this is why we as Black people are in the position we are in. But yet, and I don't know if you guys heard Jeffries, the minority leader, when he talks about the suffering, the first thing that comes out of his mouth is Black and brown. They use us as a prop of suffering and poorness and this, that, and that, this. Well, if you could acknowledge that Black people are going to suffer, you were in power for 4 years. 2 of the years it was unlimited power, and you did nothing, and you did absolutely nothing for us. All right, dear self, she says they got to go. Oh, no, they got to go. Okay, so it says psych, they got to go. But why aren't we asking, ourselves these questions? Performative politics. That's why I say, are you entertained? Are you guys entertained at this? They're going to sit up there and, yeah, we're, talk. They're talking tough, but they're not doing anything. And they know they're in a trick bag. They know they're in a trick bag. And then I challenge you guys this. After all this is said and done, the next election happens, the next Democrat comes into office. Do you guys actually think that the Democrat that's going to come into office is going to roll back the welfare reform, child support reform, everything that we were comfortable in? You actually think a Democrat's going to come back and say, yeah, we're going to go back and put these people back in Section 8 and, and set them up straight, whatever the deal is? It's not going to happen. Remember when Reagan cut all of the Section 8 stuff that was going on in the 80s and stuff? How many of you guys remember that? Then Bill Clinton gets into office. Did he restore any of the, I think it was called the Graham-Rudman Act. Graham-Rudman or something like that. Rudman, whatever the deal is, Act. And it just cut all kinds of stuff within agencies, all the fat in agencies, and then got to like the HUD and all this other stuff. And it just, government cheese stopped. All of that stuff, right? Bill Clinton gets in the office. He didn't restore any of that. As a matter of fact, he called us super predators, signed a bill by Joe Biden that increased penalties for criminality. So if, there was incidents of young boys with ice creams that stole ice creams that were going to prison for the rest of their lives under the three strikes law. And if I'm lying about that, go research. Recently, within the last 7 to 8 years, Bill Clinton himself said signing that bill was a mistake. And Biden, who doesn't want any accountability, said, well, I didn't really read the bill. I had, the information that I was given was the information I was given. He doesn't want to take any responsibility. It is predicted that over 1 million Black people were under the jurisdiction of some kind of legal police, adjudication in the court system. In the 90s, 1 million Black people were incarcerated somewhere, sometime within the 90s. There are people right now in jail in the 90s for smoking weed, and they're there for the rest of their lives. But Joe Biden, who could have easily pardoned those people for those what was then crimes, which aren't crimes today, they're still there. They're still sitting there. And our Black mothers, who sons and daughters have been incarcerated, and who knows, aunts aren't saying a word about it. Arson says, thing is, in reality, it should not only be Donovan, but all Black people who should be recovering Democrats. Exactly. All jokes aside, they've been neglecting you for 2 or 3 generations. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We should not be giving our allegiance to one party. Think about this, ladies. When you're dedicated to your man, right? You ain't married, but you're dedicated to him, right? And he knows you're not going to go anywhere because he gave you those kids and stuff. And he knows no matter what he does, you ain't leaving. Why do you think he goes and cheats? Because he knows you're not going anywhere. I read something this morning. It was kind of stupid about like Offset. He made a statement to Cardi B a long time ago, something about she's his baby mama. And that's kind of like the same mindset. No matter what she does, you're my baby mama. I won. You know what I mean? So, it's just crazy. It's crazy. And like I said, I'm not saying the women are at fault, because it is the patriarchy. But what I'm saying is the women have such influence within our community. They're the ones raising the children and teaching the children. But they're teaching the children to be emotional. We should be teaching our kids, and this is my opinion, you guys could disagree all you want. One thing I taught my boys was to research. It's okay to listen to people and have an opinion, but go back and research it. We say that on the Demetra K Show all the time. Don't just listen to what we're saying. Research what we're saying. We want you guys to challenge us. That's another reason why I'm kind of like bored on the show. not in the sense of being bored, but nobody challenges, what we're saying. And the reason I think that is because we don't intentionally put out lies. And a lot of you guys, when you guys give us facts, it's kind of hard to refute when you guys put out facts. Sometimes you guys will see me on the show and I'll be typing and I'll be researching some of the stuff that you guys are saying for my own knowledge. But as a whole, as a Black people, we don't read. So I just wanted to get on here and kind of break that down a little bit to you guys on a Friday, because maybe, I don't know if you guys have nothing to do or whatever, but a lot of people think that this is going to be the Waterloo for the Democrats. When a lot of people don't realize they've been put in the trap. Remember in the movie Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was in the cave and he had set it up for the Predator to come down, that thing's supposed to come down on him and kill him. And the Predator felt the spikes, looked at it, and decided to go around. And Arnold was like, oh shit, because it didn't work. The trap didn't work. Then he hit the thing and it hit the Predator and the Predator got hurt. The Democrats are in a trap. And, it's unbelievable. And people think it's, they're all excited. Like, yeah, we're going to stand up and we're going to shut the government. He's got to give us what we want. We're going to shut this baby down. And look at what Jeffries is saying. And I don't know why this guy, he's always talking with his hands like that. It just irks me. He's blaming the shutdown on the Republicans. And that's fine. You could blame the Republicans all you want. Jeffrey knows it's a trap. He knows. He's just trying to, political theater and entertain you guys like, hey, we're fighting. Man, where have you guys been for the last 7 months? But the one thing you don't want to do, like I said, if this man is such a threat, the one thing you don't want to do is shut the government down and give this man that kind of power. But I think the Democrats are going to do it. Because all of this is by design. It's just performative. These are the same people. This is what we're trying to tell you guys. Oh, Donovan, you're always talking about like you're a Republican. I am not a Republican. I'm trying to get you guys to, those of you guys that are new to the show or whatever, if you get this message out, because a lot of you guys already know. These are the same people. Republican, Democrat, ruling party, rich. It's us versus them, have versus have not. Do you think they care if the government shuts down? They still get paid. There is no penalty for them if the government shuts down. They still get their money. But some of you guys that are Joe Six-Packs, blue collar, you're not going to get your money. And then think about this. If the government shuts down and your company is teetering on staying open and staying closed, you might not have a job when this is all over, which is by design. They are trying to get as many people off of the employment rolls as they can so AI could come in and replace those jobs. Democrats and Republicans are working together. I mean, that's my theory. And everybody's just like, oh yeah, the Democrats are going to take care of it. They haven't taken care of us in 60 years. I asked a friend this. Off the top of your head right now, since, and he's a hardcore Democrat. I said, off the top of your head right now, name me something significant post-civil rights, so 1970 up until now, that the Democrats have done that has affected your life and the Black community. He couldn't come up with a thing. I said, exactly. Exactly. Now, the Asians, the Indians, the Hispanics, the Latinos, oh yeah, they need to support the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party delivered for them. You're damn right they need to do it. Good example, Marion Barry, the former mayor of DC. Remember why he was so loved? Even though he was on camera smoking crack, went to jail, got out of jail, ran again, and became mayor again. And people looked at black people like, oh, them Negroes are stupid. No, they're not. He delivered for his people. Harold Washington, before they killed him in Chicago, was delivering for black people. Arson says, thing is, in reality, he already did that one. Dear Self says, yep. Dear Self says, Donovan, I am black first. They have and have not does not exist in my Negro presence, right? Exactly. Well, you know, again, I just want an anti-crime bill. I don't care who gives it to us, right? Charlie Neckbone Kirk could rise from the dead and draft it. As long as it is signed, I'm good. Marion Barry, damn good mayor. Exactly. Those of us that know, we know. If you deliver for us, we're going to be there for you. But they haven't delivered anything for us. And I'm going to tell you guys a real quick story. Another reason why I really got on here, real quick. My representative in Congress is a man named Mark Takano. He's an Asian Pacific Islander or whatever. He's of Asian descent. He's the first openly gay congressman in Congress, right? He had a town hall, I think it was last night. A constituent, it was a digital town hall, by the way. These representatives don't even want to be in presence of their bosses. So they do these virtual town halls because, you know, they're just afraid. They're just afraid because they know what they're doing and it's not going to fly, right? Now, remember, the Republicans want to give a resolution for this Charlie Kirk guy could be my son. Now, one of the questions that I have is, if this young man could be my son, why is he so racist? Why aren't we asking that question? Where did he get such racism that's within him? If that's what you believe he's spouting. Because remember, a lot of people go off their emotion. You're not, unless you've really listened to what he said, I don't know. But I personally believe he's a racist. That's from, some of the things he said, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, whatever, using logic. But the man's a racist. And I look at these young people that have that ideology, and I just wonder, where do they get this stuff from? Because, their parents are liberals and stuff like that. But remember, their grandparents aren't liberal. Their great-grandparents aren't liberal. Because remember the 60s, we're going to change the world with music, or, the counterculture. All of their parents weren't liberals. They lived in a world of black and white. Racism, blacks are here, whatever the deal is. So when you have grandkids, guess who the grandkids are spending a lot of time with? Grandma and grandpa. And what's grandma and grandpa instilling in their grandkids? What they believe. And as that grandchild grows up, that seed that was planted in their mind when they were 4 years old finally sprouts. Yeah. Dear Self says, conspiracy says they knocked his son off because he was following his dad's footsteps for us. I don't know if it's true, but it may be true. Yeah. I mean, that's what they do. When they see the rise of a black messiah, they get rid of him very, very fast. But let me get back to my Mark Takano. So they had this resolution that the Republicans put out there for this young racist kid. This man, my representative, voted for it. Now, a lot of people in our community aren't even paying attention to that. But there were a bunch of Democrats that voted for that resolution to move forward. Oh, Arson, did I miss one of your comments? No, I think I read them. Let me see. Unless you in here cursing, let me see. Oh, wait, there it is. No, I did that one. It's because they wanted to feel good It's good intention. It just lacks logic at times. Let's see. Yeah, I got them all, man. Unless they blocked it or something like that, or they couldn't post it. But yeah, I got them all. I got them all there. So I want you guys to imagine this. Think about this. A gay Asian congressman voted for the Kirk resolution. Democrat. Think about that. When he was asked why he voted for the resolution, I want you guys to listen to this. He said so he could help tamp down the temperature in the country. You're a gay Asian man that this young racist kid talked about, disrespected, and all of that other stuff, and he voted for the resolution. And then when people were like, that's bull crap, you guys want to know what he said was the ultimate reason why he voted for it? Because Jim Jeffries, the leader of the Democrats, voted for it. So his excuse to his bosses, us, was, I was just following the bigger boys in the neighborhood. That's his excuse. If your kids came to you and they broke a window playing baseball, and your child tells you, well, I was just following the bigger kids, would that be a legitimate excuse for you not to beat your kid's ass? Does Jim Jeffries elect you into the seat? Do you work for Jim Jeffries or do you work for us? Do you see the difference? These representatives do not believe they work for the people. They work for the Democratic machine first. Yeah, arson. Yes, Charlie Kirk was talking against LGBTQ and all that other stuff. And this guy voted to have a resolution that honors Charlie Kirk. This is where we're at, people. This is where we're at. And when I point this stuff out, I and others point this stuff out, oh, we don't know what we're talking about. Oh, you guys are just, you just hate women. You hate your mama. That's the first thing black women say. Oh, you just hate your mama. But a gay man voting for a resolution of a known racist punk kid. And then his excuse is the bigger boys did it. Well, the leader of the Democrats did it, so I just followed along. Now, in World War II, when the Nazis were held responsible in Nuremberg, and their excuse was, I was just following orders, was that an acceptable form of an excuse to get them from not being incarcerated or killed? And, was that acceptable to the world? I was just following orders. When they went in Argentina and got Eichmann in the 1960s, and they brought him to Israel and hung him, and his excuse was, I was just following orders, was that acceptable? So why are we having to accept this lame excuse? That's where we're at, you guys. Mark Chicano. Unbelievable. So anyway, guys, I want to keep you guys. I know you guys are heading out to the clubs or to the bar, or some of you guys are heading to bed. You guys are, doing what you're doing. Pay attention to what's going on here, because this is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be interesting. Maybe we'll talk about it Sunday. But for those of you guys that did not know, the Democrats are in a trap. If they shut the government down, which is what I think they're going to do by design, so they can use the excuse, we were fighting to give this fascist racist man the power to decide what stays open, what stays closed. Think about it. All right, you guys, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app, Google Play, Apple Store. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor, hit that like button, share on your platforms, share. And again, I learned from you guys as much as you guys learned from me. Oh, well, really, there's nothing we can do, Arson. All we can do when these ladies, I'm sorry, but we got to educate. That's all we can do is educate our people how this stuff works and explain to them if the government shuts down, it gives Donald Trump, as the executive of the country, the unilateral power to decide whatever he wants that stays open and stays closed. And those people that are government workers, he can fire as many people as he wants. The government's closed. He has that authority. And I believe the Democrats are in cahoots to get as many people off of the employment rolls as possible as they move AI in to replace people. Because once you lose your job, right, there's no guarantee they have to bring you back. A lot of these corporations are looking for that excuse. Oh, yeah, well, the government shut down. We had to let you go, right? Then the government finally opens back up, whenever that's going to be. Oh, yeah, we let you go, but yeah, we're not going to bring you back. Thanks. We appreciate your service. But yeah, no, we're going to go with computers now. So, thank you. So, no, Jasmine, like I said, the Democrats, they're in cahoots. Jasmine Crockett is not pushing any of this. Like I said, Jasmine Crockett is a Democrat. She does not care. This woman is worth $9 to $12 million, and she's only been in Congress for about 4 years, 4 or 5 years or something like that. I think the midterms will be her 6th year. This is what we're talking about, the have and the have-nots. So Demetra has finally come online. Finally. So wait. I'm going to extend this a little bit because I know Demetra wants to put her 2 cents in here. But basically, Demetra, the question that I'm going to have for you is this. If the government shuts down, like the Democrats think that they're going to do, what do you think is going to happen if they do that? I think that would be the worst thing to happen because that would give Donald Trump unilateral power to decide what stays open and what stays closed. What do you think? And by the way, Demetra, I'm sure you got my little Speedo picture from, the DR and all that other great stuff. And your friend Benny is right here. He's still here. So I think we should be watching this, Demetra, on Sunday and do all of that. See, there it is. Demetra even says it too. The games will continue. Are you entertained? This is exactly it. They are trying to get people off of the employment rolls, off of these corporations. They do not want to do it. They want to bring in the AI. What's the deciding factor about the shutdown? The deciding factor of the shutdown is if they don't have the votes. If they don't have the votes to continue to fund the government, it automatically shuts down. Automatically. And only certain things like the military go by law. If they don't, they have to bipartisanly have enough votes to keep the government going. And that's what it'll come down to. Demetra says none of them will be financially affected by any of it. Didn't I say that earlier in the live, you guys? They're still getting their checks. They're still getting their checks. I'm military. I'm getting my check. If you're collecting Social Security, you're going to get your check. But the health, Demetra, I let them know that the Democrats are demanding $1.2 trillion in healthcare spending. And that is because the local level, the city and the states have busted their budgets in regards to supporting illegal migrants that added way too much money to their budgets, and they need that to continue to support them. The Democrats also want Donald Trump to roll back his ICE aggressiveness and all this stuff. The Democrats actually think they have the leverage to make Donald Trump stop what he's doing, when that's not the case at all, you know? So Demetra says, none of them will be financially affected by any of it. Okay, big thank you to you all, Demetra, for all the lessons. That's arson. Demetra case, it's emotional red meat for voters. Exactly. It's performative. And that's what I've been telling everybody. This is performative. They know they're in a trap. The corporations want this. There is no argument when both sides are controlled by the corporations. They give money to the Democrats. They give money to the Republicans. There's no argument here. They're working together. Good cop, bad cop. What's the whole thing with both cops? They both want to lock you up. Just one's going to be nicer about it. The other one's going to be an asshole, right? Demetrius says he needs to stop from some of the foolishness he has going on. Exactly. But here's the thing, Demetria. If the Democrats are so scared, or if they're going to stand up to Donald Trump and he's a dictator, he's this, he's that, he's this, the one thing you don't want to give him is a shutdown. They need to get to that table and concede whatever they need to concede, because they don't have the leverage that they think they have. And I think they're working together for the corporations to get people off of the employment roll so they could bring in the AI. So Arson says, about these illegal migrants, my family is one, but sadly you have to handle your own house before having too many people over. Exactly. Well, Arson, there's nobody illegal. There's no human being as illegal. But isn't that funny that when it comes to black folks, though, we're not legitimate, we're this, we're animals, we're criminals, we get all of the labels. But then when it's other groups, oh, no human being is illegitimate. Oh, nobody's illegal. Oh, you're on stolen land. All of these things that they say that has no factual basis whatsoever. Also, Dimitri, before you go, you heard what Mark Takano did in this town hall. A gay Asian man voted for the Charlie Kirk resolution. Did you hear about that? A gay Asian man voted for the Charlie Kirk resolution, and his excuse was he wanted to tamp down the rhetoric in the country, and Leader Jeffries voted for it. So his excuse was, the bigger boys did it, so I followed suit. Does he work for us, or does he work for Leader Jeffries? Can Leader Jeffries give him a seat in Congress, or is it us? Yeah, and Demetra, there, you guys right there, Demetra said it. Most of the Asians voted for that bill. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that insanity? We vote to get Joe Biden in, to get Trump out in 2020. The Asians get a bill plus money. We get nothing. Then here's this racist punk kid, and the Asians support a bill for a guy that talks mad dog shit about blacks and others. And don't get me wrong, you guys, I was raised in Japan and I have a lot of Asian friends. I'm not saying all, but I'm saying, do you see the performative nature of what's going on here? Does anybody know how to stand up for what's right? So you would rather go against black people in order to appease a white racist nationalist and Donald Trump's group. Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to me. And these Asian people who would sit there and say Donald Trump's a fascist and he's this and he's that and he's this, but yet they supported a Charlie Kirk resolution. It blows my mind. And what really blows my mind is we as black people can't see the sleight of hand. We're just ignorant to the sleight of hand. It just doesn't make sense that here we are championing all these. You guys, we have no friends. We have no friends. Why do you think we are out here the way we are? All these job losses. Nobody has suffered as much under the job losses as Black people. I know technically, statistically, more white people lost their jobs federally, but nobody suffers under that more than we do. So again, all right, you guys, I've been on here a little bit. Somebody's at the door again, so I'm going to go over there and kick in their crap. Donovan, what do you think about Hexworth calling military offers to a meeting on September 30th at the Pentagon? Let me answer that. Let me answer that really quick. I'm not surprised that he did that. And here's the thing. The military in its structure is set up like slavery. You're going to do what I say because I have more stripes than you or I have more bars than you. And the majority of the leadership in the military is white. So it is no surprise to me that there's a lot of people in the military that are redneck, racist people. I mean, it's just a cold fact. And now, they could come out, not necessarily out, because a lot of the people that they govern are people of color, but they don't have to necessarily hide their racism. So, yeah. So let me get out of here, you guys. Somebody's at my door that really wants to get in here. So let me go get my PP. No, joking. I'll see you guys on the Dimitri K show a little bit later. All right. Bye. Okay, I'm coming.